Come on, ride, come on, race. We go all out, we don't play.
One more ride, one more way. We don't slow down, ain't no breaks.
I'ma go all.
But if you just want to introduce yourself, you know, who you are, what you've done, kind of like what you have to offer and everything.
Now, before this video begins, I am very sorry, but I said the word like a million times, okay? So I'm very, very sorry about that, but this is going to be an awesome interview, so make sure you stick around.
Yeah, so AJ Ferrari, Mr. Fast Twitch. I've been training since I was 4 years old. I'm a wrestler and I'm just a workout person. I do a lot of fitness stuff, but I love what I do. You know, I have a passion for wrestling and for working out, and hopefully I can do it for the next 10 years, you know, if I continue wrestling through 2032, through the Olympics, through 2032, and then possibly UFC, whatever I continue doing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's so awesome. So what do you think is like, when did you start taking this like seriously, like working out, like wrestling, all this stuff? So you started when you were 4, but when did you start taking it like seriously?
Right, so the first sport that my dad originally put me in was jiu-jitsu whenever I was about 3 or 4 years old. I think it was 4. But it was a little bit too defensive for me, and I was always an attacker person. You know, I always loved taking on the guys. So he put me in wrestling, and I just immediately had a love for it. So I loved it. I always just used it as an outlet to have fun. And then I just grew. You know, originally my dad put me in it to be able to like defend my family and to be able to like defend myself on the street or whatever it is in school. But it grew into something that I loved, and it grew us together as a family. And but yeah, I started taking it seriously. Probably around 10 to 12 years old whenever I started to really get serious and really dedicate my whole life towards it, you know. That's whenever I started going to Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff. Whenever I was 12, I won the Trinity Award, which is Tulsa Nationals, Tulsa Kickoff from Arena Worlds. So me and my brother Anthony and my brother Angelo was one match from winning the whole Trinity, but we were the only 3 brothers to ever be on the All-Star team in the same year, the Ferrari brothers.
Wow.
So, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for your 3 styles, you got folk style, freestyle, and Greco. Do you just do freestyle and folk style, or do you do Greco as well?
I do all of it, dude.
You do all of it for sure. And which one's your favorite?
Definitely freestyle for sure.
Definitely freestyle.
I already took my official visit to Rutgers and took my official visit to University of Nebraska. Both were really awesome. Had a blast. They both had Final X.
For sure. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So and then now I have 3 more. I've got they're gonna be at football games. They're going to Ohio State, Penn State, and then Oklahoma State. Those will all be in September, and then late September, October, I'll make a decision, you know?
Yeah. So what do you look for when you go to these like colleges? Like what's like the big decider when you like are like gonna commit, or like what you're looking for?
Right, so the first thing that I really look for is the coaching staff, how I connect with them. That's really the biggest thing for me, you know, how religious they are, how strong their faith is, and how they connect with their wrestlers, you know, because like it's gonna be hard for me to support a coach that doesn't really believe in God, because I feel like the 2 biggest things that affect my wrestling and how I perform in the mat are my relationship with God and all the work that I put in, and me just relaxing and laying on the line, you know, so that's a huge thing. And then another thing is how I fit in with the team and how I just fit in with the whole school, you know, so It's more than just wrestling, it's academics, you know, you gotta be smart. I know I want to continue wrestling hopefully for the next, and possibly UFC, whatever it is, for the next 10 plus years, you know, but you gotta always have a backup plan. And I'm gonna end up majoring in kinesiology, and I'm possibly being like a strength and conditioning coach or nutritionist, something in that realm.
You weren't at Fargo this year. Was there like a reason that you weren't at Fargo this year?
Yeah, I've been hurt.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I have a torn shoulder.
Oh, I did not even know that.
I actually last year, right before the World Team Trials, so I made the cadet World Team last year.
Yes.
And I tore my shoulder. It was already hurting a little bit before the turn, but I really hurt it worse during my semis match. And then in the finals, I sucked it up, and I basically wrestled the whole rest of the finals, best 2 out of 3 with a fully torn shoulder. Dang. I'm talking about 75% of my labrum, and 100%. I mean, 100% of my labrum and 75% of my rotator cuff was torn. Wow. So I continued wrestling on it too, and it just got worse. So, but I sucked it up. I was wrestling against some of the best guys in the country, you know, for the World Team Trials camp, and then I took 3rd in the world with a fully torn shoulder. Believe it or not, which is crazy. Yeah. Luckily, I'm ambidextrous when it comes to both my life and wrestling. Okay. So I like to leave my right leg on a nice glass double, and I got a good sweep to both sides of the body. And luckily, I'm athletic enough and ambidextrous, so I hit everything lefty. So I'd like reach lefty with the corners, and then catch and reach in, and then go to my sweep single. So that's how I really won my bronze match. And it was tough to really get to my offense, especially against the Iranian guy who was just solid gear. He couldn't even take me down. The returning world champion won the whole tournament. He tech for everybody. He couldn't even take me down. He beat me 2-0, 1 point off injury time, and 1 point off of a push out. So, but I came back and got bronze.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you talk a lot about like your faith in wrestling and everything. Like, how does your whole like mental side, like, do you have like mantras you tell yourself, or anything like that that'll like keep you like in it, like not when you're feeling it that day? Like what keeps you going, I should say?
I actually watch a lot of motivational videos, and it's been hard for me, the last 6 months now. I'm going on full recovery, which is going to be 8 months for my shoulder. It's been hard, First month, I know I was really sad. It was kind of almost depressing, I'm going to be out for this long. But for me, it's knowing that God has a bigger picture for me, and everything's going to work out. It's not on, my parents always tell me, it's not on my timing, it's on God's timing, God has planned for us, and you can pray for something, and God can maybe not seem to answer your prayer at the time, but He has a bigger plan from you, and He is obviously much more knowledgeable than me, so He knows what I need. And at this time, I need to rest and focus on my visits and my schools. It's actually worked out good that I'm kind of injured, because I can focus on those things and
That's true.
just do that.
For sure. When you were starting to take it more seriously, like, did the coaches make the biggest impact, or was it like you're switching your mindset, or like?
It was more me, honestly.
Yeah.
From 10 to 12, that's whenever I started getting nationally ranked in middle school. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like number one. I won 12, so I got the training right. But like from 8th to 9th grade is whenever I got obsessed. Like I'm talking about obsessed to the point where like people were like, dude, that guy AJ Ferrari, there's something wrong with him. He's obsessed with wrestling.
Yeah.
I was watching it. I'm talking about middle school. I was watching it throughout the day. In between classes, I would have headphones on, watching wrestling. I'm talking about watching Dennis Targouche, Jordan Burroughs, whoever it was, Kyle Snyder, the up-and-comers at the time, Frank Monero, whoever it was. And I'm talking about in between classes, walking around, people were like, dude, that guy AJ Ferrari, he's crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because like I got to the point where I was watching roughly 6 hours of film a day. So
wow.
Now I'm watching only about 2 to 3 hours a day, so still a lot. But I don't have as much time. But whenever I was 8th to 9th grade year, whenever I really became obsessed and finished the year ranked 12th in the country, was only had one loss for the number one guy in the country, 10-6. It was 44-1.
Wow.
I was watching 6-7 hours of film, something like that a day. I was obsessed, dude.
Wow. So let's say like you got a beginner wrestler that just joined, and
right.
he wants to get better. He wants to wrestle in college. He wants to compete with the best of the best, and he has these visions. And he's like a first-year high school wrestler. Is that what he needs to do? Like because even though you started when you were 4, but let's say there's another wrestler that started late. For sure. Like, is that what they need to do? Like, be fully obsessed with it?
Yeah. And the biggest thing is really applying wrestling to not only the sport, but everything. Like, I'm talking about whenever I was in middle school, I was applying it to everything. Like, I'm talking about whenever I was at recess, I was doing push-ups and pull-ups. I was working out. Whenever I was eating, whenever I was shooting my blast doubles, right? I hit a lot of blast doubles. I was having problems to keep my elbows in it. Well, what did my dad have me do? Whenever I was eating dinner, eating spaghetti meatballs at my house, he had me focus on keeping my elbows in. So he had my brother sit next to me, so I have to keep my elbows in.
Yeah.
So literally, dedicate your whole life to it. And that's, to be the best at your craft, whatever you want to do, you have to be disciplined, and you have to have basically everything towards this, you know what I mean? Especially if you haven't started at a young age. For me, I started at 4, so I got a big advantage over a lot of people, you know what I mean? Especially with the mindset my dad's instilled in me and everything else, it's good to get from a young age, the mental toughness side of things. But technique-wise and all the other things, man, you can, if you're obsessed with it, and you dedicate your whole life to it, you trust in God, it will happen. You know what I mean? I truly believe that. I don't, especially in a sport like wrestling, you don't need you don't need to be a freak athlete. You don't have to be that guy who has that crazy vert. It helps. Like, that helps me a lot. You know what I mean? But you can also be one of those guys who's just a grinder who outworks everybody.
Oh yeah. For sure. Like, I mean, I look at your like Instagram all the time. Your like stories and like your live or like your Instagram TV things or whatever, and you're always doing like either footwork or you're lifting, or you're like when you're like you were like at a volleyball court like in the sand or whatever, like you were doing footwork out there. It's all helping with like your wrestling and everything. Like you're just fully like in it. Like you're so like invested in it and everything. So that's awesome. The big goal.
I love it. And most importantly, I love it. If you don't, a lot of people are in wrestling just to, like if they're in football and wrestling just to make the money. I love it. You gotta love what you do. If you don't have a passion for wrestling and you want to be the best at it, then this isn't for you. The sport's too hard, it's too much. Too many people who can outwork you. It's not the kind of sport where you can just do it for the gratitude, you know what I mean? For the other stuff, for the social media, for the platforms, for the medals. I do it because I love it, and that's what it comes down to, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You've pretty much been brought up in it, and you've embraced it. You just accept that, like this is, what you're meant to be, like, all your training, everything, relationship with God and wrestling. I feel like it's helped you to become like someone that could be like, so influential in like the whole fitness and like wrestling, MMA, because if you want to do that, that's awesome.
Right, yep. And I say MMA just because of how natural it comes,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wrestling and just sports where it's contact, hand-to-hand contact are so natural because of my frame, I'm 5'11" with shoes 6 foot with shoes on, but I'm extremely long and broad. You know, my wingspan is 6'8", 6 feet 8 inches.
Wow.
So I'm 2 inches away from tying the world record. So I have a really big frame. And so I feel like God's given me these gifts. You know, I feel like I have to use them to the best of my ability because, like, you know, my dad always says the worst thing in life is wasted talent. You know,
Oh,
he
yeah.
always tells me that talent's really not it's not as much a gift. It's more of an honor. You know, it's a mentality that you have to use that talent and use it to the best of your ability.
For sure.
So for my college decision, obviously you guys know there's 5 schools I narrowed down to. At first I had a bunch of schools looking at, but it came down to Rutgers, Penn State, Ohio State, the University of Nebraska, and Oklahoma State. So those are the 5 schools, right?
Yes.
And the biggest thing that separates each one is basically coaching staff and wrestling and everything. But these are the things that I like about other schools, and these are the things that I don't like about other schools. You know what I mean? Like the things I like, things I don't like.
For sure.
So first things first, obviously I like coaches that believe in God and coaches that have like a strong background. Obviously all the schools are going to have that.
Mhm.
And then the tight knits, you know what I mean? So the coaches that I connected with so far the best are Oklahoma State because I was raised with them, and
Okay.
Rutgers I've connected really good too. I've also connected great with University of Nebraska head coach Mark Manning and Brian Snyder and Kendrick Maple. I've also connected really good with them, you know.
For sure.
So I'll see how that goes with Carol Sanderson and with head coach Tom Ryan at Ohio State. So I'll see how that goes, and obviously you guys know I have a really great connection with John Smith. You know, he came over to my house for that, so that was awesome. But yeah, I have 3 more visits, and then I'll make a decision in late September to October. The visits are in September. I got Ohio State, Penn State, and Oklahoma State, and then I'll make a decision.
For sure. Is this any like overwhelming at all? Because like all these like crazy big schools, like these are like schools that kids would dream of going, and like you gotta turn down a lot of them. You're only picking one. Like how are you like?
Obviously, Cornell offered me pretty much a full ride. They said they could take care of me. You know,
Yeah.
I did very good on the ACT and SAT. I had very high scores, so I could get into any school I want. And I have I think I have like a 3.6 GPA.
Okay.
Was from all 3 years. I didn't do as good freshman year, but my sophomore year and junior year, I really did really good because I really had a lot more time, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, but it's been hard, you know, having to like really. The hardest thing for me is like, as the #1 recruit in the nation, as you guys know, the hardest thing for me is like seeing through the BS, like seeing through which coaches are just saying what I want to hear in my ear, and which coaches are actually saying what's true, what's going to get me to be an Olympic champion, you know, because that's my goal. That's what I really know I can be. And to my family and to me, if I wasn't an Olympic champion, if I wasn't a world champion, it'd almost be like a letdown. Almost like, wow, he has so much talent. He should have been a world champion. You know, that's the way I feel. Like it's more like I have to be. And like it's a pressure that like my parents put on me, my family, but like it's good pressure. Like it's not negative. It's not like, oh, if anything happens, it's bad. You know what I mean? It's the pressure and the support and like how the whole family is so close to God and everybody's praying, and I know everything's gonna work out. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing, you know, and that really has been hard. You know, I pray about where I need to go, pray about coaches and guiding my decisions and just making it a clear-cut decision, you know. And it hasn't been clear yet, but hopefully it'll be clear in a couple months.
Yeah, for sure. That's absolutely awesome, man. Well, dang, I mean, I wish you the best of luck. I know that you have you have so much aspirations, and I'm like totally rooting for you all the way. We're all rooting for you on the vlog, for sure.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, but for sure. Thank you so much for doing this interview. I know we had some problems, but thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, man. And then obviously you guys know I'll put all my social media stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, Mr. Fast Twitch. Twitter, Mr. Fast Twitch, and then my YouTube channel is typing AJ Ferrari. But if anybody has any questions about anything, man, feel free to hit me up. You know, I'm always trying to get back to the sport. You know, the sport's done a lot of good things for me, and I'm always trying to get back to wrestling. You know, I love it.
For sure. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Take care, bye.